Hey friends, so it's a day off work for me and it's cold weather, so no makeup, crazy hair, and just focused on being warm. So I'm gonna make a quick vegetarian chili, off of a Pinterest recipe that I found a while back, but I'm gonna cut it in half and kind of just use what I have in the kitchen. So let me show you what I have. So I'm going to use avocado for a topping, but I'm going to cut up part of this red bell pepper. I'm not going to use the whole thing. This is a bit of an onion that I had left over. So I'm going to chop up fine and put it in my olive oil on the pot to saute. I'm going to use a cup of frozen corn. I'm going to dice up some of these carrots. Hey, hang on just a second. And then I'm gonna end up adding in 1 can of these kidney beans, drained and rinsed, along with 2 cans of these diced tomatoes. It's a 14.5 ounce can. So that's basically what I am working with. And of course, couldn't be complete cooking without a glass of wine. So I have my onion all chopped up and we're gonna add it to my pot that's been heating with olive oil. I'm gonna let these saute for about 3 minutes and then I'll start adding in the next ingredients. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes. I'm gonna add in a heaping teaspoon of minced garlic and let that saute for just until it gets aromatic, about 30 seconds. Next, I'm gonna start adding in all of my spices. So I'm gonna add a little bit of crushed red pepper, chili powder, oregano, and cumin. Okay, all the seasonings are in. We'll just let those combine. You'll see, and next I'm gonna add in my carrots and my peppers. It does also call for celery, but I don't have celery. So we're just, like I said, working with what I have. We're gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes before we move on to the next step. So while we're waiting on that to cook down a little bit, I wanted to show you something that we've started doing again since we're gardening, and that is composting. This is what's left of my bell pepper. So I'll take you down here. We've got next to our trash can, we have a little compost bin. So I am just gonna throw that in there. So anything that you have, like you can kind of see in here, we've got some eggshells and just leftover strawberries. Any little bits that you have that are left over, you can throw that in there and put it in your compost bin. That will be great fertilizer for your garden. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, so I'm gonna add in my 2 cans. Like I said, I love these cans because they're a pop top, and so they're super easy to open. So we're just gonna add in these 2 cans. The recipe calls for crushed, but I cut the recipe in half, and so I'm gonna use these diced cans that I had on hand. We're gonna bring this to a simmer and let this go for 20 minutes. Excuse my daughter in the background, getting onto our dogs. We're gonna let this go for about 20 minutes before we add in the beans and the corn. We've been simmering for 20 minutes and this is what it looks like now. So it looks a little bit different. You can hear my dogs having fun with their new dog toys. So we're now going to add in 1 cup of corn and my rinsed kidney beans. And we're gonna cook this we're gonna simmer it for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add in some kosher salt. So we have cooked for 20 minutes, all the veggies, and then we've been simmering for about 5 minutes with the beans and the corn. And I will say, I just tasted it. This is what it looks like. It's a little on the crunchy side, to be real honest, which I don't mind, but it just may mean that you might want to cook your veggies a little bit longer than the 5 minutes at the beginning when we were doing the sauteing. But overall, the taste is really good. I added in a generous amount of kosher salt. I'll show you my bottle. I like Morton kosher salt. And so just make sure you add however much salt you want to taste. We do it at the end so that we don't do too much. And I have posted the recipe that I use down the bottom, so you can adjust it however you want to. Like I said, I cut this recipe in half. and I didn't have any celery. So that's definitely going to impact the taste. I just used a little bit of red bell pepper, and I think it tastes really good. So best of luck to you guys in cooking your chili, whether it be vegetarian or have meat. And thanks for tuning in.